You think you're exhausted from old age. But the truth is, your body is slowly dying from a giant garbage dump that's been accumulating for 60 years right inside your gut. Discover the secret formula to shed this deadly burden and revive your most vibrant, youthful vitality. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ethan Marshall, a 60-year-old health expert from the United States. Today I want to confess to you something that perhaps many of my colleagues would not dare to say, which is that death is truly not as scary as the fact that we are dying a slow death every day inside our own bodies, while assuming it is the inevitable law of old age. Before I reveal the secret to reversing this cruel law, please take a second to subscribe to the channel, hit like and share this video with your loved ones. Your support is the greatest source of motivation for me to continue the journey of spreading these true health values. Dear friends of the same age, those who are between 50 and 70 years old like me, have you ever asked yourselves why we accept fatigue, aches and pains, and handfuls of Western medicine as an indispensable part of life? We are living in an era where medicine has advanced by leaps and bounds. All kinds of functional foods and tonics flood the market. But paradoxically, the number of people suffering from chronic diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer has never shown signs of stopping. I have met thousands of patients coming to the clinic with desperate eyes. They tell me that they eat very carefully, supplement with a lot of delicacies, take all kinds of expensive medicines, but their bodies are still heavy like wearing rocks. Aches and pains still torment every time the weather changes, and life seems to be just a precarious existence. The heartbreaking truth is that our modern medicine often focuses too much on naming diseases and finding pills to temporarily suppress symptoms. Like we are busy mopping the wet floor, but forget to turn off the faucet that is running strong. We have forgotten the most basic operating principle of life, a truth that I was fortunate to be enlightened by the masters who came before, which is the formula V equals P minus O, in which V is vitality, P is power, and O is obstruction. A formula that sounds simple like elementary math, but contains the master key to liberate us from the prison of disease. To better understand your current situation, I want you to ask yourself a small multiple-choice question and leave a comment below. According to you, what is the main reason why we are tired when we get old? Option A is because the body lacks nutrients and needs to be supplemented more. Or option B is because the body has accumulated too many obstructive toxins that need to be purified. Throughout our lives, from when we were children until our hair turned gray, we have always been indoctrinated with an almost absolute belief that human energy and strength come from food, specifically from hearty meals full of meat, fish, eggs, milk, and foods rich in protein or fat. We believe that if we don't eat a lot of nutritious substances, the body will be exhausted and this biological machine will stop working. But today, I want you to join me in bravely looking straight at a truth that can shake everything you ever knew about nutrition. Be honest with yourself. How many times after a lavish feast, instead of feeling full of energy to work, you feel sleepy, heavy, and just want to lie down on the sofa? That is the greatest paradox that modern medicine often ignores. Because if food is really the source of power, P, then the more we eat, the healthier we should be. But reality proves the opposite. Based on profound studies of natural physiology, I want to share with you that the human body does not function like a furnace burning food to generate energy. But it functions exactly like an air engine, in which the lungs act as the air compressor. The heart is the regulating valve, and blood is the flow carrying life. The most primal and greatest source of power that helps us move, think, and exist does not come from the stomach, but from air pressure, from oxygen, and from the invisible connection with the energy of the universe through each breath. What we still mistake for health, after consuming stimulants such as alcohol, coffee, or animal meat, is actually just artificial stimulation. A temporary state of excitement, like whipping an exhausted horse to make it run a few more miles. When you load your body with indigestible foods, the body is forced to mobilize all reserve energy to process, metabolize, and eliminate toxins, creating a feeling of body heat and rapid heartbeat that we naively call healthy. But in fact, it is the cry for help of a system that is being overloaded. True power, P, is the enduring, gentle, and pure energy that you can only feel when walking among the trees, when breathing the fresh air of the early morning, or when the body rests and is not burdened by digestion. That is the eternal battery source that the Creator has bestowed. But we have forgotten to chase after the illusions of tangible matter. In the fateful formula 5 equals P minus O that I introduced, if P is the endless source of power from the universe, then O is the silent and most dangerous enemy that is gnawing at our vitality every day. O here stands for obstruction, meaning hindrance. But specifically, what is it in this flesh and blood body? It is not an abstract concept, but tangible matter. It is all the waste, mucus, drug residues, and toxins from indigestible food that have accumulated and frozen in our bodies over decades of wrong eating. Imagine the plumbing system in your house used for 60 years without once being thoroughly flushed. The layer of scum, rust, and waste clinging tightly to the pipe walls, making the flow weaker and the water polluted. Our body also operates on the exact same principle, and the place containing the most terrible obstruction is the colon. Based on anatomical and clinical studies, I must affirm a heartbreaking truth that most diseases, from persistent headaches, high blood pressure, heart failure to degenerative diseases, are not naturally born, but they originate from a waste reservoir located right in our abdomen. Constipation is not simply that you cannot defecate for a few days, but according to a deeper medical definition, it is the accumulation of plaques of old feces, dead cell carcasses, and residues in the pockets of the intestine. They lie there, ferment, rot, and generate toxic heat. When the colon is blocked, it is no longer an excretory organ, but turns into a toxin production furnace, seeping those poisons back into the bloodstream, causing systemic auto-intoxication. That bloodstream, instead of carrying nutrients to nourish the body, becomes a river carrying garbage to each cell, causing blockages in the delicate capillary system and increasing internal friction, forcing our old heart to beat harder, struggling many times more to push blood through those obstacles. This is the mechanical nature of disease, not because bacteria attack from the outside, but because of the filth accumulated from the inside. And when the mass of obstruction O becomes greater than the power P that we can load, the body machine will be jammed and can no longer operate. That is the cold, but most accurate definition of death, due to disease that we need to clearly recognize. If we have understood together the truth of the formula 5 equals P minus O, then the only and most correct way to revive the lost vitality is not to try to load more power P desperately through heavy nourishing meals, but to focus all efforts on minimizing the obstruction O existing in the body. The classic mistake of modern humans is that when they feel tired or weak, they try to eat more, drink more tonics with the hope of regaining strength. But that action accidentally adds a burden of waste to an already clogged system, increasing O and causing V to decline even more disastrously. The most powerful and wise solution I want to give you to reverse this aging process is rational fasting. This is absolutely not an act of starving the body or self-torture, but a necessary physiological rest period likened to a bloodless surgery of nature, helping the body machine shift all energy from heavy digestion to eliminating toxins and repairing cell damage. Along with fasting, we need to carry out a revolution on the dining table by switching to a mucusless diet. Boldly eliminate sticky and acidic foods such as cooked starch, animal meat, or dairy products, and replace them with the pure gifts of heaven and earth, which are fresh fruits and green leafy vegetables. These foods not only provide an abundant source of living water, carrying solar energy, but also act as powerful natural solvents, helping to dissolve, soften, and wash away toxic plaques that have frozen in the intestinal walls and blood vessels for many years. However, just changing the input is not enough. We are forced to intervene directly to completely handle the waste reservoir in our belly through internal hygiene, specifically the method of colonic irrigation or enema. Do not let social prejudices or unreasonable apprehension prevent you from doing this, because using warm water, lemon water, or coffee to clean the colon is the most effective and fastest mechanical measure to expel kilograms of putrid waste. Cut off the source of toxins seeping back into the blood and reduce pressure on the liver and kidneys immediately. When the three strategic spearheads, including fasting, eating right, and cleaning the intestines, are combined synchronously, the mass of O will decrease rapidly, and according to the inevitable compensation law of nature, when the obstacle disappears, the infinite source of power P from the universe will automatically flood in, restoring the strong, brilliant vitality V, like the youth that you thought was lost forever over time. Ladies and gentlemen, the journey to find true health is not a shopping trip at pharmacies or hospitals, but a serious practice process requiring consistency and deep understanding of oneself. Perfect health is not a commodity that can be exchanged for money. It is the most worthy and fair reward of the Creator for those who dare to embark on the path of purification and discipline. When you start applying the principles I have shared, the body may react with headaches, fatigue, or uncomfortable itchy rashes. Please do not be afraid or rush back to painkillers to suppress them, because that is the healing crisis, a gratifying sign showing that the internal self-healing mechanism is awakening and expelling toxins that have been dormant for decades out of your house. Welcome those reactions with gratitude and patience, just like we accept dust flying up blindly when determined to clean a room that has been abandoned for too long in exchange for pristine cleanliness afterwards. Once the obstruction O is removed, you will witness a miracle not only happening on muscles or skin, but also sublimating in your own soul. Because body and mind, although two are one, inseparable. A clean, airy gut will be a solid foundation for a clear, sharp mind and a state of absolute mental peace, where anxiety, depression, or anger no longer have a place to reside. We will realize that happiness does not come from accumulating more material things or satisfying trivial eating desires, but comes from the relief, lightness of a body no longer burdened by toxins, turning this body into a sacred and truly pure temple to receive life. Finally, I want to tell my peers that it is never too late to start returning to nature, live simpler, eat less but with higher quality, and most importantly, listen to the whispering voice of your body instead of the noise of pharmaceutical advertising. Engrave in your heart and mind the formula V equals P minus O. Let go of excess burdens so that the flame of vitality can burn strongly again. Wish you find peace and freedom in every breath of the wonderful days ahead. I am Dr. Ethan Marshall. Goodbye and see you again. The journey to find health in old age is not a race to accumulate more tonics or delicacies, but a process of letting go of excess burdens holding back the body. We have understood together the truth of the formula V equals P minus O to realize that true vitality does not come from the stomach, but from the smooth flow of life inside. Our biggest enemy is not age or time, but the obstruction caused by toxins, mucus, and residues accumulated over decades of wrong eating. The only and most effective solution for revival is not to load more, but to purify through rational fasting, eating according to nature and colon hygiene, turning the body into a pure temple to receive the infinite energy source of the universe and find true peace in the soul. The deepest lesson we need to engrave is the art of simplification. Sustainable health begins when you bravely refuse toxic old habits to return to a lifestyle in harmony with nature. Starting tomorrow, try changing your mindset from eating to be full, to eating to be clean. Start the new day with fresh vegetable juices instead of heavy meals, and spend time listening to the whispering voice of your body more. Do not be afraid of the initial detox reactions. Persevere and put full faith in the magical self-healing ability that the Creator has bestowed on each of us. Because a clean body is the most solid foundation for a fulfilling and lucid old age. After understanding that health comes from removing obstacles rather than loading more food, are you willing to try changing one meal a day to a mucus-free diet to personally verify the miraculous change of the body? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. To support you in implementing this purification process in the safest and most scientific way, I have compiled a detailed ebook on healing health. Please fill in the information in the form below the description to receive this gift completely free. If you find this knowledge useful, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with those around you to support me in continuing to produce more valuable content.